3D drawing through Model Railway. In today's episode, we're going to start to look to add some more detail along the sole bar here. Looking at the photographs, we've got some triangular pieces here, rivets, builder plates, and the lashing eyelets for when it's on the ferry. So the first thing we're going to add is these triangular pieces. So jumping into Fusion, if we go back, we look at the picture, we can see that the first one sort of in line with where the bracket is for the V hang here. So what I'm going to do is create an offset plane. I'm going to offset it from the inside of the wagon. I'm just going to drag that across so that we get it in line with where that piece matches there. So you can see it comes down with a diagonal piece. About there, 28.5mm from that inside face. Okay, so we'll create a new sketch on that offset plane we just used. And so that we can get rid of the end buffer beam here, we'll use the slice tool here. We can come in and see where we're looking at. Okay, so look at the shape of it. It's obviously just triangular pointing downwards. So we're going to start from sort of in the edge of here, go to the back, up, across, diagonal. So just creating sort of a little box in here. We drew the diagonal coming up to start with, and we can coincidence the edge to that corner, and then that end point to that corner. Okay, and then as you see, it's not filled in because it's not seeing the rest of this bodywork here. So if we just now draw a line across, it will snap to the corners. It's not picking that one up, that's fine. So we'll just come down, we can constrain that to the corner there. This corner seems to not be constrained. That's fine. Okay, and then just one line across the bottom here. Should fill that in. See how it changed colour, so it's slightly blue now. So we can now modify that. If we do an extrusion, it's going to rotate that round. And if we do a symmetrical extrusion, let's just give it a little bit of thickness. 0.2 probably is going to be okay. Tell it to join, and that should give. So if we've done, I did a 0.1 extrusion to one side, so it gives it a total thickness of 0.2 across both sides. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we'll copy that feature across. So if we look at the wagon, the next one again looks like it's in a similar position on the other side of the W line here. So we could just do rectangular pattern, select the features being the last one just created there, direction being horizontal, and we only need 2 of them, and then we can drag that across, trying to get it in a sort of similar position. It's probably going to be 15.25, I think. Yeah, it's about the right place. Okay, so that's 2 of those there. Okay, and then these ones look like they're all evenly spaced. I think there's 4 on each side. We just look here. So obviously that one there. So we need 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 on each side or each half of the wagon here. So another 3 from there will be fine. So if we do rectangular pattern, we pattern the feature there, that rectangle we've just drawn there, directions across the wagon, and we want 3 of them. So we actually need to change that to 4. Spacing wise, it looks pretty similar all the way across. So we'll just bring this across like that. So if we look in here, the second one in where it lines up with a door. So it's pretty much on the edge there. So that's not far off there. Maybe I want to come across. I actually think maybe again 11.25. Hopefully that'll give us sort of similar spacing in the middle here, where we mirror the wagon across. Okay, so that's all those triangular pieces done. So the next thing I'm going to work on is these rivets above the W line. You can see that there's what looks like 4 groups of 3. It possibly could be 4 groups of 5. None of the pictures look particularly clear, so I'm going to go with 4 groups of 3, I think. So jump back into Fusion, And we know the position of them is just above the W lines here, so we're going to create a sketch on the inside face of the solver. We'll use the normal technique that we create a circle 0.3 in diameter. We're going to dimension that. Let's go from the edge of the triangular piece there. We'll go 4.2, I think, to start with. No, it's probably going to have to be more across. Let's go 4. Okay, and then the height from that piece, 0.3. Okay, and then we can extrude this normal rivet. I'll do extrusion 0.15, and then fill at the top off to 0.15. Okay, so now we're going to pattern that. Direction across. So pick that feature, direction horizontal. Just the two of them to start with. Okay, and then create another one a little bit higher up. Same plan here. Let's just actually let's go back. Finish that sketch. Just want to see how far I move that across. Say we're at 0.6, so 0.3 across would be the centre point. So dimension from there. It won't pick up the midpoint, unfortunately. So 4.3, because that was 4 from the side there. Height wise, let's go for 0.75. And then we'll extrude the same as before, 0.3, sorry, 0.15, and then fill it the edge off, 0.15 again. Okay, and now we should be able to pattern the fillet edge, the bottom ones and the pattern on the bottom, direction across. We need another one of those. And it sits there. If we can picture, we've actually got an extra one in the middle there. So what we can do is pattern that upper one, direction across, only want 2, and we just bring that inline 0.8. Okay, that looks good to me. So the next thing we'll do is copy this all across to the other side of the W line. So again, we can do a mirror, select mirror, features, and then we've got to select all of these features for all of the rivets. Mirror plane, use construction plane, I think it was 6, mirror plane 6. Yep. And then copy across and it puts on the other side. Excellent. Okay, so I'm not going to draw the builder's plate at the moment because there isn't one on the other end, so that's not a symmetrical item that we can copy over. The next thing I think is obviously going to be the eyelets, lashings. Now, obviously, when you look at something like this with a shape where it's on the sole bar, comes out, and then comes down at a diagonal, you've got to try and work out how you're going to go about creating the shape. Now, you could do some various things like building the back plate and then coming forwards and then trying to create an offset plane at an angle and then creating your U. What I think I'm going to do is just similar to what I've done before, offset plane, draw the side profile, extrude that across and then create the shape afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to create that offset plane in Fusion. I'm going to use the back face of the buff beam here. Click on OK, and then we're going to create a sketch on that offset plane. That's rotated around. Let's spin it so we're looking this end across the wagon, and again we'll slice through. We need to actually probably move that slightly. Let's just do the offset plane again, edit that, sorry, what I'm going to do is, because it's up against the buff beam, it's not taking this back off for me, so I'm just going to move that by 0.05 off that face. Go back into that sketch, let's rotate that round and slice. There we go, we can see we go all the way through. Okay, so creating this shape, let's do a rectangle. I'm going to coincidence to the top corner and bottom corner, and then create another rectangle that comes out. So first thing, let's dimension that bottom edge. Let's go for 0.2. Height on this one, 0.2. And we're going to coincidence that corner to the edge of the sole bar. Okay, so the next thing is it comes down at a diagonal angle. So I'm just going to create that diagonal angle like this. Okay, let's see how that looks shape wise. Probably comes down more actually, so I'm going to have to change that. So I'm just going to do oops, let's get rid of that. I want to do the angle there, so let's maybe change that to 125. Be a little bit steeper then. And then we want a line coming out 0.2 at 90 degrees to that. And then we're going to come up to the same height as the rectangle and then across to close it. Length coming down. So at the moment it's 0.6. You see it comes down. It'll probably level with the bottom of the buffer beam there. So I'm going to go for the 0.6. Make sure everything else looks like it's still constrained, which it does. And then if we select these profiles here and then extrude, I'm going to come across sideways. I'm thinking maybe 0.8. Pretty much to the edge of this. So yeah, you could probably come a bit further. It comes almost to the edge there. So go 1.1. Tell that to join. Click on OK. Okay, so the next thing is this front face should be rounded here. So what we can do is we rotate these round. We can fillet that edge and that edge, and just drag that in. It's a bit too much. So 0.55, there's a 1.1mm across, 0.55 is half, so that should be fully rounded. Okay, and then what we can do is just have a look and compare. It needs to probably be adjusted slightly with a rolling angle on it. So we can edit feature, and we can do curvature work. That's don't know either of those are working how I want them. Let's do chord length. No, I'm probably going to go with that. Try and work out, maybe that needs to be a little longer, I think. So if we just extend this down, let's go on 0.9. Have a look at what that looks like. Just trying to compare that to the photos. Obviously we've got no dimensions, so it's quite difficult to judge what we're looking at. I think I'm going to go with that at 0.9. Create a sketch on the inside here to create that circle in the middle, which find the midpoint, and we can actually go for the midpoint on it. No, let's not do that because that's going to be too high. Let's move it down, so midpoint there, come down slightly, and then 0.5. Dimension from the edge there, 0.6 to bring it in a little bit, and then select the circle and then extrude all the way through to the bottom, cutting that hole in. Okay, so looking at how many of them, we've got one up against the next top triangular piece, and then sort of maybe halfway across on the next one. So the rivets are for the V hangers and stuff here that we come back to. These have got rivets on them as well. They're a little smaller. So there's 4 of them. So on this back plate, let's create the rivets. I think I'm going to go for maybe 0.2s on these. Let's just see. No, we'll get away with 0.3s, I think. So from the bottom edge there, do 0.3. I think we'll do 0.3 probably to the side edge here. Okay. And then extrude that out, 0.5, and fill it the top off 0.5. And then we'll pattern this. So select the features, so the rounded off edge and the extrusion. Directions, we'll go horizontal, 2 of them. And we actually need to go up as well. So I'm going to do 2 there for some reason. 2 there, and we'll go 0.5. Down, so maybe minus 0.5. Nope. Get rid of that then. That's 0. And we'll pattern that feature. And we'll do directions vertically. 2 of them. And then up. And 0.6. Okay. Okay, so next thing we need to do is copy these across, as I say. Next one's there and then halfway across there. So we've got to select all of those features. So we do rectangular pattern features, and we've got to select all of this lot that we've just created. That's it. And then direction, horizontal. I need 2 of them. Let's have a quick look here. Position wise, it's almost up against the edge of this bracket. So we'll do 16.5 across. Okay, and then we'll do the same again, so we can pattern that pattern, direction, horizontal again. And this one is about halfway across this one, I think. Yeah, but a little bit further up, got some rivets to put in there, so about that position there. Okay, so looking at the photos, I would say that's all the symmetrical items off of the sole bar here that we can copy over. So we're going to finish this video at this point, and then we'll come back on the next lesson and continue with the rest of the wagon. Thanks for watching.